Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Scrimshaw Show. My name is Evan Scrimshaw. Thanks for listening to this week's edition of the podcast. This week on the show, I have my good friend Ryan Jakubowski for the 8th podcast we've recorded this month. Ryan and I are going to be going through the Senate and governor's maps this year with the help of the god-awful 538 model. And to help us do this, we're going to do a stupid draft because, well, it's me and I subscribe to the built-in philosophy of if something can be a draft, it might as well be a draft. But Ryan, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening? Yeah, it's still Tuesday evening where you are.
I'm having a pretty good night. It's summer, so I guess I have freedom now, so that's fun. Had a pretty good day. How's your day been going?
It's been really boring, mostly because I really just want the British Open to get here. Also, I should probably have told you this off the pod, but because of the British Open, I'm going to be sleeping at very weird times this week. So if I don't respond to your text, apologies in advance.
Good to know. I mean, I'm glad we just had this on the podcast, but yeah.
The British Open is the Open Championship, whatever, is my favorite sporting event of the year. It's at St. Andrews, which is the best course in golf. Jordan Spieth is going to win by 6. Just mark it down. It's going to be a good week. Ryan, I think on your YouTube channel, on Bias Selection Predictions, you ran through your thoughts on the 538 model. Can you just briefly give them for my listeners who do not necessarily know who you are?
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's inconsistent in a lot of places. I don't know how you can legitimately make an argument for Washington 8 being likely Democratic while Michigan 3 being likely Republican. I just think it's weird. I think it's there are some seats where it's too bullish on Republicans, obviously, but the majority, as you've seen in the past in 2020 and 2016, it's just too bullish on Democrats. I don't think that they're favored to win a lot of the governorships. They're favored to win on this model, and I don't think that they are competitive in places they're competitive in. We'll get into that in the draft, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's too inconsistent to be accurate.
So,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's just too inconsistent to be accurate, and I'm just kind of I don't know how he got this, to be honest with you.
Well, no, so I know.
In the words of Evan Scrimshaw on your column, what the I don't swear on podcasts did you build, Nate? That's what I'm going to leave it at.
So the problem is I know exactly how Nate built the Spieth issue, and it's very simple. He used 2016 and 2020 blended partisanship, and the problem with that is you overestimate Democrats in white working class areas, and you overstate Republicans in left-trending suburban areas, and you get a crock of shit model like this, where I think in aggregate, at least this House model is probably correct, or close enough to correct that it's not really worth it. But it's going to have a dog shit night because it's going to have Democrats. The Democrats are going to underperform in your Michigan 8s, and they're going to underperform in your Michigan 3s. And we just know this because the left-trending Democrats are going to outperform the model, and Republicans in places what's the Tim Ryan's? Let's see, what's the number in Ohio?
Ohio 13.
Ohio 13. Thank you. Just pencil that one in for see Republicans are going to overperform Democrats. And right, Marcy, I don't know what Ohio 9 is.
That's Marcy Copter.
Right, but I don't know what they have it is, but
they have Marcy Copter in a top. She has a 50% chance of winning. 5-0.
No. She might have a 50% chance of winning. Dead ass. I'm not even joking. But that's the thing, right? The problem with this model is that it's so bad that we can literally already pick out the flaws with it before the election. Right? We know exactly where this model is going to fuck up right now.
Yep.
So the Senate model and the governor's model is a bit of a disgrace. We're going to use the classic model because the classic model is the 538 model before they cheat and include forecaster ratings. And no, I don't think getting to cancel out your errors with Cook is good practice. So fuck it. We're just going to use the classic model. Before we do that, to determine
the Republicans have a 15% chance. Sorry, it's just Joe O'Dea apparently has a 15% chance of winning the Colorado Senate race, and it should be 1.5, but whatever. It's the least of our concerns. Sorry, what were you saying?
I appreciate you cutting me off on a podcast. I think that might be the first time ever, despite the fact that I've done it about 5,000 times.
Oh my God. It's just, I noticed this. It's so disgraceful that I'm no, this is more important than whatever he's saying. Nothing can be more important than dunking on Nate Silver's Colorado Senate prediction.
So Ryan and I just completed a 4-part series on his podcast, the Politics Matter podcast, PM podcast. What's
2022.
2022 on Twitter. Follow it, follow the account, subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Ryan and I did a 4-part series on the Senate races. So if you want more in-depth takes on the big 4 Senate races, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, you can get those on that feed. We're probably not going to spend too much time rehashing our thoughts on those in this podcast, frankly, because we've already done those. And we've done very in-depth podcasts on those. We did literally recorded 3 podcasts on Arizona. No. So what I was going to say was to decide who gets the first overall pick in this draft. The rules of which are kind of stupid, and I'll explain in a minute, but it's fun. Ryan, you have to answer a trivia question.
Okay.
It is about F1, which you do not watch.
Yep.
Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton has had 3 teammates in the Mercedes era of his career. Name 2 of them.
Okay, so Mercedes. Okay. So George Russell is obviously the first one I'm going to say. Wait,
Correct.
so I need to name 2, right?
Correct.
2?
So you just need to name one of the two non-George Russells.
Wait, you mean the non-Lewis Hamiltons? Because I know Lewis Hamilton, obviously, and then we go George Russell.
So there are 4 people who have driven Mercedes cars in the last 12 years or whatever. Lewis is 1, George is 2. You just need to name one of the other 2.
Okay, so let's think. So it's not the Dutch dude.
No,
yeah, it's not Pierre Gasly.
correct.
I'm just trying to think of the
I literally
who's the
named,
guy?
I
Who's
literally
the
named,
Leclerc? Leclerc? Okay, it's not
no,
Leclerc.
he's Monegasque. Also, I literally named this person. This was literally the basis of my call on Friday. Fuck you.
Okay, well, no, I read it, and it's like some weird name, and I don't like. It's like it's supposed to be either a B or a D. I'm gonna get it. I have a good memory. Let me just okay.
No, that's the other one. No. Okay, no. The guy George replaced starts with a B, but he is not the person I heard about on Friday. So clearly, you did not read my Friday call.
No, yes, I did. Yes, I did. He's the dude with the weird last name. Who's the Finnish guy?
That's one of the 2. You're on the right track. The Finnish guy.
Okay.
The Finnish guy is one of them. It's the most recent one.
It's like Batas, Batai. It's something like that.
Yeah, close enough. It was Valtteri Bottas, but I think.
Hey.
Okay, Nico Rosberg is the one I thought you were going to get because I literally read about the Nico Rosberg to Lewis Hamilton rivalry on Friday.
I've heard of him. I didn't know he drove for Mercedes though.
Okay, well, you clearly skimmed through the first 300 words of my column on Friday.
Why are you slandering? Hey, I just got the question right. Why are you slandering? I know a lot about F1, man. I'm like, I could like
Nico Rosberg.
I could do an F1 podcast if I wanted to, just to put it out there.
Name 6 drivers currently on the grid.
Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, Bottas, Gasly, and
sorry, name 8. Name 8.
Nikita Mazepin or whatever the guy's name is.
No, he's not on the grid this year. They got rid of him.
He got ostracized. Okay, so the other 3.
Here's the himbo I always
Bottas,
compare you to.
Bottas.
No, you've already said.
Oh, Leclerc.
Yeah,
Leclerc.
That's 6. You need 2 more.
Who's the you were just talking about? The other Mercedes guy. Rosberg. Rosberg.
No, he retired. He retired 6 years ago. So you've got the scooter guy. Do you remember the scooter guy's name?
Verstappen?
No, that wasn't the scooter guy. The scooter guy was the other guy.
Oh.
Okay, you don't remember him. Yeah, you're not getting. You're not getting this.
Okay. So I'm at 7.
No,
I'm
you're
at 7 now.
You're at 6.
Did I say Pierre Gasly?
Yes.
Can I phone a friend? Can I phone a friend right now? I have like 3 people that I know very well who love F1.
No, you cannot. Because it's draft going. You did get the first overall pick though. So
okay.
I sent you a list of the 14 races and the current 538 probabilities of Democrats winning all of them. It's the Nevada Senate, Arizona Senate, Georgia Senate, Pennsylvania Senate, Ohio Senate, Wisconsin Senate, and North Carolina Senate. There's these 7 Senate races rated as lean R, lean D, or toss-up by 538. There are 7 governorships: Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Kansas, and Alaska. For Alaska, we are just going to do the odds of non-Republicans winning. Because
yeah, fair enough. Bill Walker's running again, so
because you have a three-card contest, and you have Bill Walker as independent. You have a Democrat running. So we're just going to do like elect a Republican or a non-Republican in Alaska. So the way this is going to work is that not only do you have to draft a race, you also have to give a rating for that race. And the more ratings away from the 538 rating, the more points you get.
Ooh, okay. I see the value here.
The problem with this, the thing that obviously would be problematic with this is, like, in theory, we could just declare every race safe D or safe R and like cheat and get all the points. But I like to think that you are intellectually honest enough to not just stick a race in safe R or safe D that you don't actually think is safe. So can you be trusted?
Okay. Yes, I will. I mean, all my predictions are on YouTube, so I'll be honest here.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for. That's also what I expected. So basically, if the race is a toss-up and you go lean R or lean D, it's 1 point, it's 2 points for likely, it's 3 points for safe. If you go from lean R to lean D, that's 2 points. Basically, every rating you move further is an extra point, and then whoever has the most points by the end wins that stupid draft with no things. Because you were able to come up with Valtteri Bottas, you get the first overall pick. I'm pretty sure I know what the first overall pick is, and frankly, I'll be mad at you if it isn't the right one. Oh, before you give your first pick, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are technically likely D on 538 right now. There's 75% chances for both of them. We are treating them as lean D because fuck it. I wrote this before. I came up with this script beforehand, and I want this to be a 7-round draft, not a 6-round draft. So deal with it.
Wait, so is the difference between what's the bigger difference? Lean D versus lean R, or toss up versus likely R?
They're both worth 2 points.
Okay. Oh,
it's just a 7 point race. It's just a 7-point scale. You basically move along.
Yeah, okay. All right. I will be taking Kansas governor. I've got it as likely Republican. It's probably safe to like Laura Kelly's. I like Laura Kelly. I think she's a decent incumbent, but she's the math really isn't there for her to win. And with Jerry Moran on the ballot, there will be like a ton of Republican voters coming out that wouldn't otherwise come out if it was just Kelly leading the ticket. And the thing is, the argument in favor of Kelly having a path is that she's gonna do as well as she did in 2018 in the suburbs. And the problem with that is the 2018 was a blue wave. That Chris Kobach was the nominee, and Derek Schmidt is a good opponent for her. So I think she loses by 12. So I've got Kansas likely Republican. I will, it's Nate Silver has it as a toss up and give Kelly a 44% chance of winning. I don't know what Nate Silver is on, but yeah, I'll take Kansas as my first pick. That's a disgraceful rating.
It is called the overrating of incumbency, which is going to be a recurring theme on this podcast of the dog shit. Kansas governor was very clearly the first overall pick. If you didn't take it, I was going to fly to your location and slap the shit out of you. Honestly, I might have gone safe because I just don't think. Because the thing is, even if Laura Kelly pulls off her suburban performance again, she only lost the old Kansas fourth by like a point or two. Like, she's not getting those rural margins again, even if she pulls off the suburban margins again. And without Greg Orman,
everything has to go right for her to win, and it's just not going to happen.
No, there's no chance now. Okay, I'm going to take. Oh, so we're looking at the same spreadsheet that I sent you earlier, or I sent you a screenshot of earlier. I think there's a pretty clear second overall pick. Do you agree with me?
I had a pick in mind. I'll be mad if you take it, though.
Ohio Senate, so far.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was thinking, but
I'm sorry. Ohio Republicans are winning this race. Like, I tried to build like a Senate model today, and I'll release it when we get full fundraising and spending data from this week from Q2, which will be out. Well, not all of it will be out by the time this comes out. If I get set on Wednesday, which is my goal. But JD Vance is winning this race, like 1,000%. He's winning this race. Like, I'm sorry, Tim Ryan.
Sad.
Tim Ryan is running a campaign to get 47.5% of the vote. He's not running a campaign to win 50% of the vote.
Okay, how do you run a campaign to win Ohio as a Democrat, though? In fairness to Tim Ryan.
You euthanize about 250,000 Republicans. Like, I'm sorry, there is not a realistic path to Democrats winning federal office in Ohio right now. There just isn't. Like, it's a right trending state, or run in a blue trending in like a blue wave, but it's not a blue wave. Tim Ryan might be a fine candidate. Tim Ryan might even be a Sherrod Brown candidate. It doesn't matter because the GOP aren't going to leave town this time like they did for. It's going to be an R wave. And JD Vance is not a bad enough candidate to fuck this up. So I'm going to stay far. And both of us have 2 points at the end of this experience.
All right. I've got, I'm actually glad you didn't steal my pick.
Ooh, okay. So I'm excited to see what your pick is then.
Oh, what were you asking me to do? Sorry.
I don't know. Do you think I'm making a mistake here?
I don't do safe. So I do save margin or save ratings, obviously, like, North, South Dakota, California, safe. The thing with states like Kansas and Ohio is that they're functionally safe, except for the fact that I do ratings based on margin, not probability. And I don't think that either of these races go beyond a 15% margin of victory for the Republicans, which is why I had as likely. But yeah, they're functionally both safe. Kansas like a little safer for Republicans than Ohio, but
I've also got the points advantage, right? Because if we just move it to lean or to likely, it's only a 1 point gain, and you've already gained 2 by going from toss up to lean R, or sorry, to likely R in Kansas.
Yeah. I do actually have a pick that'll give me another 2 points here. And it's Wisconsin governor. I don't know how anyone could like outright say that, like, maybe if you're a really good debater, I could go for Tildy. But like, I've got this as leaning Republican. I think Evers loses by 4 or 5%. It's a right trending state. He has to. So in 2018, he won. He didn't even do that well in WoW. The only reason he won was because Scott Walker was A, an overrated incumbent, and B, he did very, very well in the Wisconsin 3 riffless working class type areas. And they are not coming back for Democrats. They like kind of came home in 2018, but they're not going to do that. Like they didn't in 2020. They are not going to be doing so in 2022. And unless Evers can make up like 7-8 points in the WoW counties, which is like very unlikely, I don't think he has a realistic chance to path to victory, unless there's like some unforeseen Evers ticket splitting among working class Trump voters, which I don't think is going to happen. So yeah, I think Evers is kind of cooked here.
He would also have to pull it off with that Tammy Baldwin or Ron Kind on the ticket, both of whom helped general Democratic perception in the WoW.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair point. I think the fact that Democrats are kind of running a shitty Senate candidate, which one of us will get into in a minute, probably also helps. Democrats, like, I'm sorry, Mandela Barnes, like, trying to celebrate a $2.1 million fucking fundraising haul in Q2 is pathetic. It's Nagy Hassan outraised him, what, 3-1?
Yeah, 3-1.
In a state half his size? A quarter of his size?
Yeah, like New Hampshire versus Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin always gives more attention to New Hampshire anyway, so it's disgraceful. Yeah.
No, Mandela Barnes is not good at this. So I think the fact that the Senate race is probably not going to be competitive.
I follow Mandela Barnes on TikTok. It's
I am followed by the like Mandela Barnes for Wisconsin account, which is not the Mandela Barnes account. So I mostly avoid tweeting on like unfavorable things for Mandela Barnes. But yeah, he's running a dog shit campaign. Trying to think if there's any other two.
By the way, that Senate race was winnable like in April of last year if we just ran Godlewski.
No. If Kind or Pocan had decided to run for Senate, maybe.
Why Pocan? Pocan's just mid.
Because he could have done well in the Milwaukee suburbs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that, but I think Kind would have been the only person that could have made it a toss-up, to be honest with you.
So knowing now what I know, yes, I probably agree with that. I think Pocan would still do substantially better than Barnes because Pocan's like catnip for like well-off white social liberals in the collar. The sort of like affluent, friendly gay works really well with those kinds of ex-Republicans. Fuck it. Wisconsin Senate, stay far. I'm sorry, Mandela Barnes is not winning. Yes. Dude, my model literally has it as like a 10-point race. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot justify, like, I can justify a safe rating on the basis of the fact that, like, Democrats, this is like the one race where Democrats are being out fundraised. We don't have Ron Johnson's Q2 yet, but his Q1 was more than Mandela Barnes race in Q2. Barnes can only get a quarter of the vote in the Democratic primary, so it's either going to be him or Alex Lasry. Lasry literally has no connection to the state of Milwaukee other than Daddy bought the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, no, he's just a billionaire. He's arguably worse than Mandela Barnes. Godlewski and Nelson would be like candidates, but
sure,
yeah, they'd be
sure. But the two people who are currently leading in the most recent Marquette University Democratic primary poll are Mandela Barnes, who's just not a good candidate, can't raise anybody, and Alex Lasry, who again his only like connection to the state of Wisconsin is that his dad bought the Bucks. I'm not even joking. He only moved to Wisconsin because his dad bought the Bucks.
Yeah.
Ron Johnson, like the thing I keep coming back to is like people are like, oh, but Ron Johnson. Yeah, I don't care. His COVID politics are the thing that pisses off like resist liberals. But the thing is, like, his COVID politics are probably pretty close to the COVID politics of the average Wisconsinite, right? So I don't think that's like a realistic problem. But Donald Byrne is a horrible candidate for the WoW. He's a horrible candidate for the Driftless. What are we doing here?
Yeah. This is the equivalent.
And also, when you try and math this, like it's a Biden plus 0.6 state with a Republican incumbent who has a money advantage in a red trending state. Like my math works for a safe rating too.
Yeah, this is like kind of like the equivalent of the Florida 27 House race just on the Senate map, except for the fact the Democratic candidate in Florida 27 is actually good and Mandela Barnes is bad. So yeah, it's likely safer.
Yeah, it's funny that the two of us have gone with 4 Republican races for our 4 first picks. Given that both of us are generally accused of being Democratic hacks. Where are you going with your third pick, 5th overall?
I don't. Okay. I have.
If you steal the one I want to take next, I'm gonna slap you.
Okay. I think I'm actually gonna do it now. Alaska Gov.
No, not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. I have it as Safar. I don't think that Mike Dunleavy loses because I think that Walker and who's the other guy? Walker and
literally no idea who the Democrat is.
Yeah, no, it's less Guerra. I just checked. Walker and Guerra are going to split the Dem vote more than people think. I think Walker's going to do a lot better than her.
There is RCD for this race, just FYI.
No, I know, but like that helps the Republicans even more because all the Christopher Kirka and Mike Dunleavy voters are going to rank the Republicans 1 and 2. So yeah, this race is safe Republican. Democrats are going to do nothing in Alaska this year. So I have the Republicans winning by, I think, 16 points or 17 points in my last prediction. But
I think that's high. I think, like, what do you think the combined first ballot Republican vote's going to be between Dunleavy and whoever the other fuck is?
56, 57.
Okay. I mean, if you believe that, it's Safar, right? I think the 538 model has their combined votes around 52. I have no idea if that's right or not.
I think the Democrats have a big turnout problem among Native voters and among the like inner city part of Anchorage that's like more liberal leaning. The only area that will I think Democrats are going to gain in is Matsu because it's trending left, but it'll be like they get 25% of the vote there in 2020. They'll probably get like 26 or 27. Like I just think they're going to I think they'd be lucky to do as well as Joe Biden did in Alaska.
So I think if you're trying to call this Safar, I think you want Walker to come in third. Because Walker's votes will split more evenly than the Democrats' vote. Like, their votes will not flow. Walker's vote will not flow as strongly to the Democrat as the Democrats' votes will flow to Walker. But all of the like preference stuff is all completely irrelevant if Walker gets 50%, and I kind of think he's going to, given Trump got what 54 in the state. In a
Wait, what's your rating for this race then? If not say far.
likely, just because RCV adds an element of uncertainty that could, in theory, fuck it up.
Oh, okay, that's.
But
that's interesting.
I'm closer to Safar than I am to Leader, to be like perfectly clear.
Okay.
This RCV like in theory provides a path for Democrats that would not exist otherwise, but like whatever. I'm also not going to bore people with like arguments about exhaust. If you want to listen to me like talk way too much about exhausted votes, or read it, read my column for thelines.com this week, because I got into the Alaska Senate race, and I swear to God, I feel bad for my editor because he's going to have to just edit the fucking crap out of me just talking about exhausted vote.
All right, you're up next. Alaska. So Alaska's now off the board.
Correct.
What's this pick you were hyping up?
Georgia Senate lean Democratic. It's me, guys. Like, I'm sorry, Herschel is apparently a favorite in this model. No.
That's the most Scrimshaw thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but when am I not on brand? When am I not the most? I literally started this podcast with an F1 trivia question. When am I not on brand?
Okay, actually no. I know you once the most off-brand podcast you've ever done was the Pennsylvania podcast where we were just doomed on John Fetterman. But yeah, other than that, no, not really.
Okay, fair enough. We talked about this a lot on your podcast, but like Georgia's an ecosystem. Democrats will be able to engineer their black turnout in an off-ballot year. Herschel has undiagnosed CD. What was his quote yesterday? Fuck.
It was that. Okay, here, let me explain this. So in America, we have clean air. And when the Green New Deal comes into, or if the Green New Deal were to come to a place, we'd be filtering the clean air. But this filtering would obviously, for like obvious reasons, cause the clean air to move across the world and stop in China. And then China, because they have dirty air, that would cycle across the world and stay in America. And so essentially a Green New Deal would be making our air dirty because we'd be swapping air with China. And if you don't agree, then you're a liberal partisan hack.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, this dude has this. Yeah, I actually feel bad for this guy that he is like in public. He should be getting help, like clinical brain help, not being abused for the purposes of a Senate race. I'm sorry. If you think Raphael Warnock can't beat that, I have voucher fund property in Augusta to sell you. I mean, come on. Like, if I'm good at predicting literally anything in the United States, I'm good at predicting Democrats to win in Georgia. I'm gonna ride black turnout with Stacey and Raphael at the top of the ticket. Warnock's a disgrace, and the Atlanta suburbs are going to be full of Warnock Kemp voters.
Yep.
Do you disagree?
No, I've got it as tilt Democratic. I think Warnock's a favorite, but I'm just less bullish than you because you're the Georgia guy, and because I'm naturally more like more like cautious on these things. But yeah, I don't disagree.
Because you're a pussy.
Hey. Okay.
Hey now, you're a rock star.
I'm not going to respond. Not going to respond to that.
The words to this song, but whatever, it's your pick.
Oh,
Ryan,
hold on.
It is your pick. Ryan, okay. Who are you picking?
So I'm actually going to slander you right now. Are you ready?
Is it the fact that my singing is horrible? Because I know.
No, I actually like your singing. I think you should do it more. What I was going to say is that you did not label which Pennsylvania is which. I checked the model. Shapiro has a 75% chance of winning. Fetterman has 63% chance of winning.
No, because that was in the okay. Sorry, okay. In fairness, no one is in the spreadsheet we're looking at right now, but like that's in the Senate section, and then that's in the governor section. So I kind of figured it was okay.
You know what? I didn't look, so it's still your fault.
I put a fucking line between the governorships and the Senate races.
Look, man, I know you're trying to like cover up the fact that you didn't type the word Senate next to Pennsylvania, but like, okay, Pennsylvania, I'm taking it. Fetterman's going to lose. 530 has this race as lean Democrat for some reason, which should be a flip for them. I don't know how they can say that. I mean, like I think toss was a fair rating, but I've got this race is lean Republican. I'm a massive Fetterman doomer. I think Philadelphia turnout is going to be worse than people think. I think Fetterman's going to underperform working class areas, and I don't think he's a good candidate for the suburbs. I just overall think he's not that good of a candidate. I think the Republicans come home for Dr. Oz, so his early polling problems kind of just evaporate once we hit September, and I think he'll be fine. I've got this as lean Republican.
So I agree with you on that. The problem is that Republicans do not seem particularly enthused, like Republican strategists and Republican thinkers don't seem particularly enthused for the Dr. Oz experience. That said, if you tell me that someone's going to lose because they have bad approval ratings in Pennsylvania in June, I'm going to tell you that Donald Trump had about as good approvals as Nickelback in Pennsylvania then, and he still won. And that, given that the most likely evidence is that the environment's going to get worse for Democrats from here, right? Like, I don't see a situation where the environment gets substantially better for Democrats, and I see a bunch of paths where it gets worse for them. Plus the fact that I just like straight up don't believe these dog shit state polls because, like, you know, it's the same shit that was wrong in 2020 and 2018 and 2016. I buy it. I also have Dr. Oz currently favored, which is a very weird experience to be living in.
Sucks.
Well, it's not even about Oz. It's just like since when does Scrimshaw have a Republican favored when the polls have a Democrat ahead? Like, that's just like a weird vibe to exist in. But yeah, I feel good-ish. I don't know.
Yeah, so I've got a distinct Republican model as lean Democratic. I'm happy with that pick.
No, I also have I think my Senate model has probably like 2.5 points, something like that, 2, 3. Okay, with my fourth round pick, I'm going to go Oregon governor. It's only lean D per the model. Like, I get the case that, like, actually third parties increase, uncertainty and vote splitting, and I don't care. Democrats win Oregon governor races. They have not lost one in the last 40 years. It's just one of those things where independents generally don't split the vote. Generally, independents do not swing the outcomes of races. Like, I know a bunch of candidates Republicans blame Greg Orman, but like Laura Kelly was going to win anyways because Kobach was a horrible candidate. I don't think Republicans have a good enough candidate to make this race competitive. And I think that if there are Democrats considering voting for the independent, they will come home at the end of the day to try and get sort of to ensure that they do not screw this up in a bad way. I'm going Oregon governor likely are. Sorry,
likely. Okay, yeah, I was like, hold on. I don't remember being invited to go on Ready Go Politics' this podcast, but okay. So you took Oregon. Okay. I don't really know what to do here. I'm kind of just gonna go on the fly. I think. Ooh, okay.
Okay. While you think, we have Nevada Senate, Arizona Senate, North Carolina Senate, Nevada governor, Arizona governor, and Pennsylvania governor left on the table.
Okay.
Also, Nevada governor is lean D, by the way, not toss up, which is what your sheet says.
Okay, I'm taking North Carolina Senate. I've got it as likely R. They have it as lean R. I have moved back and forth between lean and likely R. I've currently got it as likely because I think Beasley loses by just over 5%, but like I wouldn't be shocked if it goes the other way. But yeah, I'm gonna take it. I don't think black turnout is gonna be good enough for Democrats this midterm, even though they have a lot of room to grow in that department. I just don't think it's the year for Sherry Beasley, even though she's a good candidate. It's just that simple.
If you value the ability to lose closely, then Sherry Beasley is a hell of a candidate. If you value the ability to actually win, Sherry Beasley doesn't have much of a chance. I agree with your call there. I'm going to vote a Senate lean D. Don't feel super strongly about it, but I think Cordes Nelson's in better shape. than this model does. I've always been more bullish on Democrats in the state of Nevada than others. I think the Hispanic problems are mostly overblown in that state, especially given the fact that the majority of Hispanics in Nevada are urban service workers as opposed to rural Hispanics with culturally conservative views. Do you have any objections to this?
No, that's the exact same logic I used to have Cortez Masto favored. So yeah, that would be my next pick probably.
Okay, well, you've got 2 picks left, so make them now.
Okay. Ooh, okay, so we've gotten all those races. So there are no set races other than Arizona, which I wouldn't touch with the 10-foot pole. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch
Probably
it.
going to be the last pick on the board.
Actually, no, I'm taking Arizona Senate. I might hate to do this, but like I always like to do a little bit of Democratic dooming just so that I can, win.
I mean, it is. I mean,
even
it
if it's sad.
It isn't. Can I just do 20 seconds on this? It's a fucking absurd rating. Democrats having a 67% chance of winning Arizona, and Republicans only having a 63% chance of winning North Carolina and a 68% chance of winning Wisconsin and Ohio. Like, something is wrong in that general batch of bullshit. Mark Kelly does not have anything close to the chances that those other races do.
It's just too high on Democrats in the most Senate races here. I think like Cortez Masto is like the only race that I can be like, yeah, she probably has a high 50, low 60% chance of winning. But yeah. So Arizona, I've got as lean Republican. I know you're not gonna like that take, but I really think this is one of the few states where Republican turnout isn't gonna like because I think turnout's gonna go down obviously for both sides, but I think Arizona's Democratic turnout's gonna really crater with Hispanics and in the cities of Tucson, Phoenix, and I think Republican turnout stays really strong because Carrie Lake and Robeson are in a toss-up primary, but I think Masters Robeson is the ideal ticket for Republicans because Masters would get high turnout from rural Trump people, and then the suburbs would kind of come home for Robeson. So I'm working under the assumption that Robeson narrowly wins the primary. So I'm going to say I'll take Arizona Senate as a lean Republican.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't like it. I think Kelly's like slightly favored. I certainly think that their rating is like an absurdist fantasy. While we're in the state of Arizona, I'm going to go Arizona. I'm actually surprised you didn't go Arizona governor, given that that's still on the board. I think Arizona Republicans are more likely to win the governorship than the Senate race. As we talked about in the Georgia podcast, I mean, saying about how Brian Kemp has a better chance, like federal Democrats will do better in Georgia, they'll also do better in Arizona, which means necessarily state Republicans do better in Georgia and Arizona. I think whether it's Robson or Carrie Lake, is that her name?
Yeah, Lake's the crazy one. Robeson's like the half crazy one.
Yeah. But like either way, like state Republicans will generally do better. Doug Ducey's going to hand over a state in reasonably good budgetary position. He's going to leave the state with fairly good approvals from independents, and the state GOP have a better brand than the national GOP do in the state of Arizona. So I'm going to go Arizona governor. I'm also going to go lean R. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you've beat me on this draft because you've gone a little more aggressive than I have. I'll count up points in a minute. But yeah, what's your final pick? So you've got Pennsylvania.
It's Nevada Gov. You say it.
Yeah, Nevada Gov and Pennsylvania Gov.
I hate both these races, but I'm gonna, I'll end it with a bit of Democratic optimism. I'll take Pennsylvania. I've got it as so. So I have it as tilt D, which in my book is functionally a toss-up. Do you want me to take it as lean D? Because I do have the Democrats winning this race.
You can take it as a toss-up. So if you take it as a toss-up, you get a point, and if you take it as a lean D, you get 0 points.
Okay, I might as well get a point here because I do think it's a toss-up, but I would say Shapiro's a narrow favorite. They gave him a 3 and 4 chance of winning. I think it's probably like mid-50s, like 55, 56% chance of winning. Because the thing is, I think by all metrics, Shapiro's a better candidate than Mastriano. I think Mastriano is going to do reasonably well with rural voters, and I think the working class vote's going to come home for him, even though Shapiro is a good candidate. But I think Shapiro has a lot of upside in the suburbs. To me, it really is about Philadelphia. I know you don't talk about, because like Pennsylvania, you can look at from 12 different angles, and Philadelphia is usually like one of the last ones we do because it's Philadelphia and it's safe blue and whatnot. But I think turnout really matters, and I think people are
does-
overestimating
how does
Democratic
a-
turnout.
How does a Josh Shapiro, John Fetterman ticket get only Democratic turnout in Pennsylvania or in Philadelphia?
Yeah, that's basically it. I'm a little worried about that because I think Doug Mastriano is probably like the scariest Republican candidate at the governor level of the cycle. So it's a little concerning for me. I'm always stressed with Pennsylvania, but I'll end in a little bit of optimism. I'll take Shapiro.
I think a lean R Senate toss up governor is, I think, probably the right correlation. I know the polls have not shown that differentiation, but my response to most state polls is, well, they're dog shit, so who really gives a shit whether they agree with my priors or not? I guess I get about a gov. I'm just gonna take a Lindy for 0 points. Just off the top of my head, you earned 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, now 11, 12. Okay, you earned 12 points with your picks. I earned 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I only earned 8. So you won. You were more aggressive than me, which is an accomplishment to some people.
Yeah, usually you're more aggressive, but I guess I'm just the Democratic doomer here. So
I think in this case, having the first overall pick was pretty valuable. Also, you went more aggressive. I was honestly surprised that you went Arizona Senate all the way to Leonard as opposed to toss up, and I'm kind of surprised you went to Safar with the Alaska governorship.
I mean,
because those I think were the 2 ones where I don't know. Thanks for doing this, bud. This was fun.
Thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Follow Ryan at Ryan Jakubowski. Follow the Politics Matter podcast at PM Podcast 2022. You need a better fucking app, my dude.
I do, but everything else is taken.
Listen to the Politics Matter podcast. I have been on 4 times in a row. I'm not on next week if you are sick of hearing my voice. It's good. It's a great podcast. Read Ryan's Substack when he writes. He tweets out articles. He doesn't tweet out stuff enough. You should tweet your stuff more often.
Yeah, I've been trying. I'm making progress in that department.
Yeah, you just got to be okay with shilling your shit. Like if you think the line is, you got to go further than what you think the line is with your willingness to shill your shit. Says the guy who just passed 7,900 Twitter followers today. Very happy about that. Follow me on Twitter at Scrimshaw. Follow the Scrimshaw Show on Twitter at Scrimshaw_show. Read my Substack, scrimshawunscripted.substack.com. Buy my book, Salvation of the Storm. Ryan, quick question. Should I release Best Kind of Chaos?
Absolutely and unequivocally, yes.
Okay, I might. I read a book called The Best Kind of Chaos. I think I've mentioned it in my articles before. Yeah, I'm considering releasing it. I don't know.
It is a banger.
See. If you would like to cyberbully me into releasing The Best Kind of Chaos on Amazon in the same way I did with Salvation, you can feel free to do so. My DMs are open. Again, at Scrimshaw on Twitter. Ryan, read my political betting and CFL work over at thelines.com. Ryan, how excited are you that I'm happy about the Ottawa Senators for the first time in 4 years?
I don't watch hockey, so I'll be excited because I don't have any spite. So I'll say I'm excited. I can't really troll you, but the Senators because I don't watch hockey. But yeah, I guess I'm excited.
The Senators just got a better, just traded a really bad goaltender to Toronto, who is going to start this not good goaltender, and then got a cheaper, better goaltender from Minnesota for nothing. Like, I'm gonna write. I don't know if I'll do it for the Lions. I don't, or my set. I'm gonna write about this Leafs off season at some point in the next 10 days. Holy crap, Kyle Dubas needs to be fired. I need to get this take off. Fucking fuck the Leafs off season. It's been a fucking disaster. Anyways,
no, I cannot give any counter takes that because I don't watch hockey. But
so here's the thing: I have incepted you with a bunch of I've incepted you with a bunch of F1 knowledge, so now my next goal is to incept you with a bunch of hockey knowledge.
I'll talk to my one Canadian friend about that. So yes.
He's probably a Leafs fan though, given where he's from, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, well, tell him that his GM fucking sucks.
Okay, will do. I don't know how well he'll receive that message, but okay, will do.
I mean, he'll probably just be shocked you have a hockey take. Thanks for listening to the show, everybody. We'll be back soon. I don't know.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.